Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, in West Reading, Pennsylvania. Her father, Scott Kingsley Swift, is a former stockbroker for Merrill Lynch. Her mother, Andrea Gardner Swift, is a former homemaker who previously worked as a mutual fund marketing executive. Swift has Scottish heritage and was named after singer-songwriter James Taylor. Her younger brother, Austin Kingsley Swift, is an actor. Swift's great-great-grandfather on her father's side was an Italian immigrant entrepreneur and community leader who opened a slew of businesses in Philadelphia in the 1800s. Swift spent her early years on a Christmas tree farm that her father purchased from one of his clients. Swift identifies as Christian. She attended preschool and kindergarten at the Alvernia Montessori School, run by the Bernardine Franciscan Sisters, before transferring to the Wincroft School. The family moved to a rented house in the suburban town of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania, where she attended Wyomissing Area Junior, Senior High School. At age 9, Swift became interested in musical theater and performed in 4 Berks Youth Theater Academy productions. She also traveled regularly to New York City for vocal and acting lessons. Swift later shifted her focus toward country music, inspired by Shania Twain's songs, which made her want to just run around the block 4 times and daydream about everything. She spent weekends performing at local festivals and events. After watching a documentary about Faith Hill, Swift felt sure she needed to move to Nashville, Tennessee, to pursue a career in music. She traveled with her mother at age 11 to visit Nashville record labels and submitted demo tapes of Dolly Parton and the Chicks karaoke covers. When Swift was around 12 years old, computer repairman and local musician Ronnie Creamer taught her to play guitar. He helped with her first efforts as a songwriter, leading her to write Lucky You. In 2003, Swift and her parents started working with New York-based talent manager Dan Dimtro. With his help, Swift modeled for Abercrombie & Fitch as part of their Rising Stars campaign, had an original song included on a Maybelline compilation CD, and attended meetings with major record labels. After performing original songs at an RCA Records showcase, Swift was given an artist development deal and began making frequent trips to Nashville with her mother. To help Swift break into country music, her father transferred to Merrill Lynch's Nashville office when she was 14 years old, and the family relocated to a lakefront house in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Swift attended Hendersonville High School but transferred to the Aaron Academy after 2 years, which could better accommodate her touring schedule through homeschooling. She graduated a year early. In Nashville, Swift worked with experienced Music Row songwriters such as Troy Verges, Brett Beavers, Brett James, Mac McAnally, and the Warren Brothers, and formed a lasting working relationship with Liz Rose. They began meeting for 2-hour writing sessions every Tuesday afternoon after school. Swift became the youngest artist signed by the Sony ATV Tree Publishing House but left the Sony-owned RCA Records at the age of 14. At an industry showcase at Nashville's Bluebird Cafe in 2005, Swift caught the attention of Scott Borchetta, a DreamWorks Records executive who was preparing to form an independent record label, Big Machine Records. She had first met Borchetta in 2004. Swift became one of Big Machine's first signings, and her father purchased a 3% stake in the company for an estimated $120,000. She began working on her eponymous debut album shortly after. Swift persuaded Big Machine to hire her demo producer Nathan Chapman, with whom she felt she had the right chemistry. She wrote 3 of the album's songs alone, and co-wrote the remaining 8 with Rose, Robert Ellis Orrell, Brian Marr, and Angelo Petraglia. Taylor Swift was released on October 24, 2006. Taylor Swift peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 Albums chart in the United States, spending 157 weeks there, the longest stay on the chart by any release in the U.S. that decade. As of August 2016, the album had sold over 7.75 million copies worldwide. Big Machine Records was still in its infancy during the June 2006 release of the lead single, Tim McGraw. Swift and her mother helped stuff the CD singles into envelopes to send to radio. She spent much of 2006 promoting Taylor Swift with a radio tour, television appearances, and opening for Rascal Flatts on select dates during their 2006 tour after they fired their previous opening act, Eric Church, for playing longer than his allotted time. Church jokingly told Swift she should give him her first gold record as thanks for getting fired. Swift won accolades for Taylor Swift. She was one of the recipients of the Nashville Songwriters Association Songwriter Artist of the Year in 2007, becoming the youngest person to be honored with the title. She also won the Country Music Association's Horizon Award for Best New Artist, the Academy of Country Music Awards Top New Female Vocalist, and the American Music Awards Favorite Country Female Artist honor. She was also nominated for Best New Artist at the 50th Annual Grammy Awards. She opened for the Rascal Flatts on their 2008 summer and fall tour. In July of that year, Swift began a romance with singer Joe Jonas that ended 3 months later. Swift's second studio album, Fearless, was released on November 11, 2008. The lead single, Love Story, was released in September 2008. It peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 in Australia. 4 more singles were released throughout 2008 and 2009, White Horse, You Belong With Me, 15, and Fearless. You Belong With Me was the album's highest charting single on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 2. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and was the top-selling album of 2009 in the United States. Swift's first concert tour, the Fearless Tour, promoted the album and grossed over $63 million. Journey to Fearless, a 3-part documentary miniseries, was aired on television and later released on DVD and Blu-ray. Swift also performed as a supporting act for Keith Urban's Escape Together World Tour. In 2009 Cmt Music Awards, Swift won Video of the Year and Female Video of the Year for Love Story, and made a parody video of the song with American rapper T-Pain called Thug Story, which aired during the show. In 2009, the music video for You Belong With Me was named Best Female Video at the MTV Video Music Awards. Her acceptance speech was interrupted by rapper Kanye West, an incident that became the subject of controversy, widespread media attention, and many internet memes. James Montgomery of MTV argued the incident and subsequent media attention turned Swift into a bona fide mainstream celebrity. That year she won 5 American Music Awards, including Artist of the Year and Favorite Country Album. Billboard named her 2009's Artist of the Year. The album ranked number 99 on NPR's 2017 list of the 150 greatest albums made by women. Swift made her TV acting debut in a 2009 episode of CBS's CSI: Crime Scene Investigation, playing a rebellious teenager. The New York Times noted the character allowed Swift to be a little bit naughty, incredibly so. Later that year, Swift both hosted and performed as the musical guest on an episode of Saturday Night Live and was the first host to write their own opening monologue. In August 2010, Swift released Mine, the lead single from her third studio album, Speak Now. It entered the U.S. charts at number 3, making Swift the second female artist in the history of the Hot 100 after Mariah Carey to debut multiple tracks in the top 5 in 1 year. The other was Today Was a Fairy Tale at number 2. Swift wrote the album alone and co-produced every track. Speak Now, released on October 25, 2010, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and was the 16th album in chart history to achieve opening week sales of 1 million copies. It became the fastest-selling digital album by a female artist, with 278,000 downloads in a week, earning Swift an entry in the 2010 Guinness World Records. 3 of the album's singles, Mine, Back to December, and Mean, peaked in the top 10 in Canada, while in the US, the earlier 2 along with the title track peaked in the top 10 of the Hot 100 chart. Later in 2010, she briefly dated actor Jake Gyllenhaal. The Speak Now World Tour ran from February 2011 to March 2012 and grossed over $123 million. In November 2011, Swift released her first live album, Speak Now World Tour, Live. The following month, she contributed 2 original songs to the Hunger Games soundtrack album, Safe and Sound, co-written and recorded with the Civil Wars and T-Bone Burnett, and Eyes Open. Safe and Sound won the Grammy Award for Best Song Written for Visual Media and was also nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song. Swift contributed vocals to rapper B.O.B.'s Both of Us, released in May 2012. From July to September 2012, Swift dated political heir Conor Kennedy. In August, Swift released We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, the lead single from her fourth studio album, Red. It became her first #1 in the US and New Zealand and reached the top slot on iTunes' digital song sales chart 50 minutes after its release, earning the fastest-selling single in digital history Guinness World Record. Red was released on October 22, 2012, incorporating new genres for Swift, such as heartland rock, dubstep and dance pop. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 with first-week sales of 1.21 million copies. This marked the highest opening sales in a decade in the United States, and made Swift the first female to have 2 million selling album openings, a record recognized by the Guinness World Records. The Red Tour ran from March 2013 to June 2014 and grossed over $150 million. It broke the ticket sales record in China with all 18,000 tickets sold in 60 seconds. Red earned several accolades, including 4 nominations at the 56th Annual Grammy Awards. Its single, I Knew You Were Trouble, won Best Female Video at the 2013 MTV Video Music Awards. Swift was named Best Female Country Artist at the 2012 American Music Awards and Artist of the Year at the 2013 ceremony. She received the Nashville Songwriters Association Songwriter Artist Award for the 5th and 6th consecutive years in 2012 and 2013. Swift was also honored by the association with a special Pinnacle Award, making her the second recipient of the accolade after Garth Brooks. During this time, she had a short-term relationship with English singer Harry Styles. In March 2014, Swift relocated to New York City. Around this time, she was working on her 5th studio album, 1989, with co-writers Antonoff, Max Martin, Shellback, Imogen Heap, Ryan Tedder, and Ali Payami. She promoted the album through various campaigns, including inviting fans to secret album listening sessions. Credited as her first documented, official pop album, it marked a departure from her country albums. The album was released on October 27, 2014. Swift was named Billboard's Woman of the Year in 2014, becoming the first artist to win the award twice. At the 2014 American Music Awards, Swift received the inaugural Dick Clark Award for Excellence. In 2015, Swift won the Brit Award for International Female Solo Artist. Swift was one of 8 artists to receive a 50th Anniversary Milestone Award at the 2015 Academy of Country Music Awards. At the 58th Grammy Awards in 2016, 1,989 won 3 awards: Album of the Year, Best Pop Vocal Album, and Best Music Video for Bad Blood. Swift was the first woman and 5th act overall to win Album of the Year twice as a lead artist. She dated Scottish DJ and record producer Calvin Harris from March 2015 to June 2016. Prior to their breakup, Swift and Harris co-wrote the song, This Is What You Came For, which featured vocals from Barbadian singer Rihanna. Swift was initially credited under the pseudonym Nils Schuberg. She subsequently dated English actor Tom Hiddleston for a few months. She began dating English actor Joe Alwyn in September 2016. Swift wrote the song, Better Man, for Little Big Town's 7th album, The Breaker, which was released in November. The song earned Swift an award for Song of the Year at the 51st CMA Awards. Swift and English singer Zayn Malik released a single together, I Don't Wanna Live Forever, for the soundtrack of the film 50 Shades Darker, 2017. The song reached #2 in the US and won Best Collaboration at the 2017 MTV Video Music Awards. In August 2017, Swift successfully sued David Muller, a former morning show personality for Denver's Kygo FM. 4 years earlier, Swift had informed Mueller's bosses that he had sexually assaulted her by groping her at an event. After being fired, Mueller accused Swift of lying and sued her for damages from his loss of employment. Shortly after, Swift counter-sued for sexual assault for nominal damages of only $1. The jury rejected Mueller's claims and ruled in favor of Swift. Swift thereafter cleared her social media accounts and then released Look What You Made Me Do, as the lead single from her 6th album, Reputation. The song topped the charts in Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, the UK, and the US. Swift released Reputation in November 2017. The album incorporates a heavier, darker electropop sound, with hip-hop and EDM influences, new genres for Swift. It debuted atop the Billboard 200 with first-week sales of 1.21 million copies. With this achievement, Swift became the first act to have 4 albums sell 1 million copies within 1 week in the US. The album topped the charts in the UK, Australia, and Canada. First-week worldwide sales amounted to 2 million copies. The album has sold over 4.5 million copies worldwide as of 2018. It spawned 6 other singles, including the US Top 5 entry, Ready For It, and 3 Top 20 singles, Endgame, featuring Ed Sheeran and rapper Future, Gorgeous, and Delicate. Other singles include New Year's Day, which was exclusively released to US country radio, and Getaway Car, which served as the final single in Australia. Reputation was Swift's last album under her 12-year contract with Big Machine Records. In November 2018, she signed a new multi-album deal with Big Machine's distributor Universal Music Group. In the US, her subsequent releases were promoted under the Republic Records imprint. Swift said the contract included a provision for her to maintain ownership of her master recordings. In addition, in the event that Universal sells any part of its stake in Spotify, Spotify agreed to distribute a non-recoupable portion of the proceeds among their artists. In late November, Big Machine Records released a Reputation Stadium Tour playlist for streaming services. The playlist includes every song performed on B stages during the Reputation Stadium Tour. On December 31, Swift released her Reputation Stadium Tour's accompanying concert film on Netflix. Swift released her 7th studio album, Lover, on August 23, 2019. Lover was Swift's 6th consecutive album to sell more than 500,000 copies in a single week, making Swift the first female artist to do so. All 18 songs from the album charted on the Billboard Hot 100 the same week, setting a record for the most simultaneous entries by a woman. It was the world's best-selling studio album of 2019, selling 3.2 million copies. 3 singles preceded the release of Lover, Me, You Need to Calm Down, and Lover, all of which reached the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. Me debuted at number 100 and rose to number 2 a week later, scoring the biggest single-week jump in chart history. At the 2019 MTV Video Music Awards, Me won Best Visual Effects, and You Need to Calm Down won Video of the Year and Video for Good. Swift was the first female and second artist overall to win Video of the Year for a video that they directed. 208 The International Federation of the Phonographic Industry (IFPI) honored Swift as the global best-selling artist of 2019. This made Swift the first woman to win the honor twice. She had previously won in 2014. At the 2019 American Music Awards, Swift won 6 awards, including Artist of the Year and Artist of the Decade. Swift played Bombalurina in the movie adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical Cats 2019. She also recorded Beautiful Ghosts, an original song she wrote with Webber for the film's soundtrack, which was released in November 2019. Although critics reviewed the film negatively, Swift's role received positive feedback. Her documentary Miss Americana, which chronicles part of Swift's life and career, premiered at the 2020 Sundance Film Festival and was released on Netflix on January 31. The documentary features the song Only the Young, which Swift wrote after the 2018 United States elections. In February 2020, Swift signed an exclusive global publishing deal with Universal Music Publishing Group, after her 16-year-old contract with Sony ATV Music Publishing expired. Footage from Swift's 2019 City of Lover concert in Paris, which was part of a promotion campaign for her album Lover, aired on ABC on May 17, 2020. Swift released live versions of the Lover tracks she performed at the concert after the television special's premiere. Swift's 8th studio album, Folklore, was a surprise album released on July 24, 2020. Written and recorded while Swift was in isolation during the COVID-19 pandemic, the album includes collaborations with Bon Iver, Aaron Dessner, and Jack Antonoff. The album's indie folk production and Swift's vivid lyrics received critical acclaim. Folklore sold 2 million units worldwide within its first week and broke the record for first-day album streams by a female artist on Spotify. The lead single Cardigan debuted atop the Billboard Hot 100, making Swift the first artist to debut atop both the Billboard 200 and Hot 100 in the same week. Other singles from the album were Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 entries Exile and The One, and country radio single Betty. At the 2020 American Music Awards, Swift won 3 awards, including Artist of the Year for a record third consecutive time. On November 25, she released the self-directed concert film Folklore, The Long Pond Studio Sessions on Disney+. At the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards, Swift received 6 nominations, including Album of the Year. Swift's 9th studio album, Evermore, was a surprise album released on December 11, 2020. Described as a sister record to Folklore, the surprise release once again includes collaborations with Bon Iver, Aaron Dessner, and Jack Antonoff, as well as with American rock bands Haim and The National. According to Republic Records, Evermore sold more than 1 million copies in its first week worldwide, marking Swift's 8th consecutive studio album to achieve it. The album was her 8th #1 debut on the Billboard 200, and spawned her 7th Hot 100 #1 single, Willow. This made her the first act to concurrently debut an album and a single atop both Billboard 200 and Hot 100 charts twice. Swift's music consists primarily of elements of pop, synth pop, country, country pop, rock, alternative rock, indie and folk. Her works also incorporate R&B, EDM, hip-hop and trap. Musical instruments that she plays include guitar, piano, banjo and ukulele. Swift possesses a mezzo-soprano vocal range. Her singing voice was described by Sophie Schillaci of The Hollywood Reporter as sweet but soft. Swift's philanthropic efforts have been recognized by the Do Something Awards and the Tennessee Disaster Services. She has received the Big Help Award for her dedication to helping others, and inspiring others through action, and the Ripple of Hope Award for her dedication to advocacy at such a young age. Swift donated to American singer-songwriter Kesha to help with her legal battles against Dr. Luke and to actress Mariska Hargitay's Joyful Heart Foundation organization. In 2019, she donated $113,000 to the LGBT organization Tennessee Equality Project, as well as to the media advocacy organization GLAAD in support of Pride Month. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Swift donated to the World Health Organization and Feeding America and offered one of her signed guitars as part of an auction to raise money for the National Health Service. Swift performed Soon You'll Get Better during One World, Together at Home television special, a benefit concert curated by Lady Gaga for Global Citizen to raise funds for the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. In June 2020, she donated to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund in light of the killing of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement and urged fans to do the same. As well as charitable causes, Swift has made donations to many of her fans.